was surrounded by 600,000 of my fellow Israelites. I was walking, and to be honest, my heels were hurting pretty bad. We'd been walking for a while now, and for the first time, my sister and I, my mother, my dad, we smelled freedom. We smelled victory. We smelled what it was like to not be slaves to Pharaoh. We had just been released from Pharaoh's bondage, and he let us go. And shockingly, that night before, my mom and dad said, "Kids, get your things, let's go." And we went and we plundered the Egyptians. And so on me right now, I had my satchel, and I had my plates and cups that I'd taken from some of the Egyptian friends I knew, and I was wearing some pretty swaggy pearls, I'll be honest. And I was walking with my sister, and her name was Tessa, and she had her hand in my hand, and she said, "Sissy, when are we going to be there?" I said, "I don't know, Tessa, I don't know." But we kept walking, and Moses said, "Turn around." And so we turned around from walking in the wilderness, and we finally walk up to this place where right to my left I see a huge valley, and some hills and some mountains. And then right to my right I see some other hills, and then right out before me I see the Reed Sea. I can't even see to the other side of this place. And I say, "Where are we going to go?" "I don't know." Moses said, "We'll camp here for the night." And so we did. That's what we did. Tessa was holding my hand, and we're laying down there that night and looking up at the stars, just thinking about our past life and wondering what's going to come. And then later in the night, I start hearing screaming behind me. And Tessa holds my hand a little tighter, and we begin to shake a little bit. And everybody starts to scream and say, "What's going to happen? Pharaoh's army's coming! Pharaoh's army's coming!" Look behind me, and we don't know what to do. We're now sitting here wondering what's going to happen before us. And Moses stands up on the rock, and he tells his people, he says, "Fear not, stand still. The Lord will fight for you. You need only be still." Be still? What does that mean? I am terrified right now. How am I to be still? My heart's pounding. My mom and my dad are murmuring together, wondering what they're going to do to protect us as much as they can. 600 of Pharaoh's chosen chariots are behind us right now, each with 3 men in each. Over 100,000 of his armies coming our way over the valley. Now all of the Israelites are screaming out to the Lord, saying, "Why didn't you leave us for our graves in Egypt? Why are we now here? What are we going to do, Lord? What are we going to do?" Moses stands up. He's still on the rock, and we all look to him because we're half crying, half thinking that we're about to die. And he holds up his staff, and all of a sudden wind blows up from my hair, and Tessa, I pick her up in my arms, and she's crying, and it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. And then all of a sudden, to my left, the waters in front of me and the Reed Sea right before me shoots up higher than I can even see. And then all the way to my right, it shoots up higher than I can even see. And the Israelites become still. And we know that the Lord is with us. He says, "For I will fight for you. You need only be still." Moses takes the first step now into the Reed Sea, onto dry land. And I see my fellow cousins go before me. And they continue to go into the Reed Sea. And then finally it's Tessa and I's turn. And she's grasping my hand real tight. And we take our first step. And it's dry ground. And I look to my left and I see trout swimming in the sea. And then I look to my right and I see seaweed and the bed of the ocean there. And then we keep going. And we're joyously singing as we're going. And we walk forward. And then just as we're about to cross to the other side, I look behind me and there's still about 500 of my Israelite friends. And Pharaoh's army begins to pursue us. And as he's pursuing us, they begin to scream and they run as fast as they can. And I say, "Come on, Izzy, kill. Come on, come on. And he's coming back there, and he finally makes it across, and just as he comes across, the waves fall onto Pharaoh's army, and they have all died and perished. And I'm now sitting here on the other side of this sea, of this other side of something that I thought I could never go across and never be delivered from. And one by one, we stand up. It's silent. Nobody says anything. We say, and each one of us begins to sing to the Lord that he is triumphant gloriously, and the horse and his rider he is thrown into the sea. I will sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously, for the horse and his rider he has thrown into the sea.